From the Five Alive News Center, Jerry Adams, Jane Jerome, Wayne Shannon, Jerry Park. This is Five Alive News at 6.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Jane Giroux has the evening off. As you spend this Thanksgiving with your family and friends, you may be thankful for your health or the roof over your head. Many Oklahomans are thankful for the meal they're sharing this evening at local shelters. Five Alive's Chris Bond joins us live now from the Jesus House and has this report. Chris?
Jerry, people here at the Jesus House have been filling their plates since about 5 o'clock this afternoon. And there are many more of Oklahoma City's needy who are waiting their turn for a holiday dinner. As it does every year, the Jesus House is serving the traditional turkey dinner with all the trimmings to anyone who asks. This year, there's something new and very special on the menu. Music from the Sooner String Quartet.
I think everyone can enjoy this music. Hopefully it will brighten their day. I know that it will mine.
We feel like whatever talents we have, if we can share them on Thanksgiving Day, we just thought it'd be a lot of fun.
The quartet is made up of musicians from the Oklahoma City Symphony Orchestra. The reaction here has been marvelous. The people really seem to be enjoying the music. Reporting live from the Jesus House, Chris Bond, 5 Alive News.
Chris, how long will the music be playing?
Well, the quartet will be playing probably for a few more minutes, 15 or 20 or so, but the dinner will continue as long as there are people waiting in line to eat it.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Well, thousands of pounds of turkey, dressing, and potatoes were served up today at the Salvation Army's annual Thanksgiving dinner. The supper had a new look this year. Those wanting to eat were waited on by volunteers and didn't have to stand in line for their meal.
In addition to the table setting, we have a real core of volunteers with us who are really have been trained this morning to really focus on the individual, to pay attention, not only to serve them at the table, but to really communicate with them and to give them some one-to-one.
Dahlberg says the tradition of decorated tables and personal service is one that will stay with the Salvation Army dinners in the coming years. Volunteers from all area 60 churches took some homebound elderly residents to an Oklahoma City restaurant for Thanksgiving meals. Applewood's restaurant employees served the traditional Thanksgiving dinner to about 125 people. Many of the guests received meals on wheels except on holidays.
And I brought some real nice people with me. And, we had a nice time.
Suppliers furnished the food, the restaurant opened its doors, and employees donated their time. Restaurant officials expect to offer Thanksgiving dinners to the homebound again next year. Not everybody gets off work Thanksgiving Day, and that includes firemen. But they say working doesn't have to be depressing. Firefighters all over the city cook up a big meal, and many invite their families to the station house for dinner. Even so, working holidays is one thing firefighters say they can't quite get used to.
I've been on 22 years, and I've worked many holidays, but I'm still not used to it. Being away from family and so.
Relatives say they like having dinner at the station because the firemen clean the dishes. A 3-year-old boy left at the Muskogee police station last week is home with his parents today, but it may be just for the holiday. Muskogee Judge Tom Alford decided to let the boy go home for Thanksgiving and then rule later on a Department of Human Services petition on his permanent placement. The boy was left at the police station by an unidentified couple. His parents picked him up after hearing about the incident on the radio. They said they thought he was staying with relatives. In other news, Oklahoma ranks 4th in the nation in marijuana cultivation. That's according to a report by the U.S. House of Representatives. According to the report, the federal government is overlooking the problem of domestic marijuana production and instead is focusing its attention on drug importers. Oklahoma Congressman Glenn English is chairman of the Government Operations Committee. He says the president needs to designate an agency to handle domestic marijuana control, plus come up with a comprehensive strategy to fight pot production. Meantime, an investigative audit of Northern Oklahoma College in Tonkawa has turned up potential problems in accounting. But the state auditor and inspector, Clifton Scott, says his office won't reveal the findings of that audit until New Year's Eve. And when we come back on Jane Giroux's Journal, we'll tell you about a group making adoption an option for families who want children. Next in weather, Wayne says the Thanksgiving night forecast is going to be a little bit soggy. He's got the forecast right after this. A lot of people around here are sort of walking funny today, you know, sort of lilting on that turkey and what have you.
That's right. Mine, I think, is about 35, 40 minutes away.
I hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, do you have any friends and or relatives out in the northwestern part of the state?
No, little Jane's out there around Laverne right now.
Jane's going to get snowed on.
Yeah.
Very, very shortly. We're going to have... You don't have any friends or relatives out there,
I don't
huh?
have any friends.
Okay. Well, we are going to have some snow out for Jade and many people in the northwestern part of the state in the next 24 hours. We have a winter storm warning out there. We'll show you more on that in just a minute. But right now in Oklahoma City for 6 o'clock tonight, there is drizzle, there is fog. In fact, visibility down to a mile or less in parts of the metro area right now. Our winds are out of the northeast at about 14 miles per hour. The humidity 96%, barometric pressure 31.4 and steady, and a trace of precipitation recorded so far today. Now, our low for the day, 40, and our high, only 3 degrees warmer, 43. The normals for this time of year, 34 and 57, and our records, the low, 13, the record high, 81. And here is the winter storm warning for the northwestern part of the state. In the next 24 hours, 4 to 8 inches of snow possible in the Panhandle and 4 to 6 inches of snow possible in the northwestern sections of the state. Our lows this morning, they weren't below freezing, but they were on the chilly side, mostly 40s, some 30s out in the western sections of the state. And late this afternoon, very little movement in those temperatures. Mostly 40s, but a little bit warmer down at Ardmore, 50 degrees there, and 37 at Gage. We've had drizzle and fog widespread over much of the state. Northeasterly winds, speeds running about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Satellite picture shows lots of cloud cover. It's not thick, but it is all-encompassing across Oklahoma. It gets thicker in the Panhandle and out in the Rockies where the storm system is centered, the one that is giving us this cloud cover and starting to give us some rain, will be giving us rain and snow across the state in the next 24 hours. Pretty mild in the Gulf coastal region and also the South and Mid-Atlantic states, but they've got a lot of cloud cover. Matter of fact, much of the nation with cloud cover today. And here's that big storm system right now over northern sections of New Mexico. As it appears right now, this system will come out of the Rockies and move over northwestern Oklahoma in the next 24 hours. That's the reason for the winter storm warning in that part of the state. Now, I think even into central Oklahoma, we're going to have some cold rain tomorrow, becoming mixed with or changing to snow for a short period of time, sometime tomorrow or tomorrow night, and ending early Saturday morning. Precipitation right now rains from the mid and south Atlantic states, some snows up in New England, and then that rain carries through the western and western plains into the Rockies where it turns to snow. 10 to 18 inches of snow still possible in southern sections of Colorado. Heavy snow warnings there. That snow is now starting to move into the western sections of the Oklahoma Panhandle, and it will continue to creep in our direction. For tomorrow, by this time tomorrow, that snow should be extending into the western one-third of Oklahoma. Ahead of it, cold rain all the way to the mid and south Atlantic states. The rest of the country generally dry. Our highs tomorrow, 80s and 70s in Florida and Georgia, to 40s and 30s up in New England. Middle of the country, look at this, 30s will extend all the way down into western Oklahoma and the South Plains of Texas, with then 40s, 50s, and 60s down in Texas. Then in the West Coast area, we'll have 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s. Here's our forecast for Oklahoma City. For tonight, look for rain late this evening with 37 for low. Before the rain actually starts, we'll have periods of drizzle and fog. Northeasterly winds 7 to 15. Tomorrow, look for more rain, cold rain, with 41 for a high, northerly winds 7 to 15 miles per hour. Then tomorrow night, that rain will become mixed with or change over to snow for a brief period of time. 32 will be the low with northwesterly winds 7 to 15. The rain and or snow will end Saturday morning, 42 for a high that day. Much better on Sunday, sunshine and 50 degrees. And on Monday, partly cloudy and 52. So there will be some snowflakes in central Oklahoma in the next 24 hours.
Those Oklahomans skiing New Mexico and Colorado should be enjoying a real good snow.
They're getting a tremendous amount of snow out there right now.
Yeah, we got to hit Wolf Creek, too, before long.
Yep.
The holiday season with its family emphasis is not so pleasant tonight for families who desperately want children and cannot have them. But for hundreds of Oklahomans, a place in Texas has made that dream a reality. Tonight, we celebrate National Adoption Week in Jane Giroux's journal.
When Deborah and Scott Duncan were married in 1971, they just knew babies would naturally follow. They didn't, and no one could find out why.
Because every month you expect, oh, I'm going to find out I'm pregnant, and then when you don't, you're devastated.
And then each month there was the crying.
Yeah.
when there wasn't a positive result.
Oh, shortly before we were approved for adoption, I'd gone to a baby shower, several baby showers in a row. And with each one, it progressively got harder and harder. And I finally decided I'm not going to go to any more baby showers because it's just too hard to take.
But a baby did come into their lives. After 10 years of trying to become parents, they were able to adopt Jason.
Our response was that it was a miracle and that it was the best thing that ever happened to our family. I don't believe that I could feel any stronger love or attachment for anybody, whether they come biologically or through the adoption process.
I wanted a baby so badly, and it grew, of course, but I really felt a love for Jason immediately, and Mandy too.
Mandy is their second child, adopted through the Edna Gladney Center in Fort Worth, Texas. 100 years old this month, Gladney is a haven for girls who find themselves in a crisis called unplanned pregnancy.
Mr. Jones, how do you do?
It's the biggest shock I've ever felt.
What did you do then?
When I first found out, I held it all inside. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell anyone until I was 7.5 months.
A teenager gives birth to a baby in this country every 2 minutes, and the consequences are usually forever. Adoption offers a different option for the baby and the birth mother.
But then when you go on the nursery visit, when you go see the child, it's like, oh, you realize then this is really happening. This is a real human being, and I gave birth to it, and it's like, and I guess, then is when I realized I'm glad that I'm placing it for adoption because this baby has needs and things that I couldn't meet.
We hate the word give up. That to me, it's just, I can't stand that word give up because when you say give up, to me that makes it sound like that's exactly what you're doing, like there's no plan made for you or the baby.
Planning is key at Gladney. With a great deal of professional help and lots of interaction with other residents, girls learn to set personal goals and create a plan for themselves and the child they may choose to place for adoption.
About 250 babies a year spend their first days here at the Edna Gladney Nursery. This is a place of joy, for now the focus of all that planning and dreaming has a beautiful face and will soon have a new name and a new family.
This is Emily at Edna Gladney. Are you ready to be a daddy? Oh, good. Well, we have a little boy for you.
The call is made, and usually within 24 hours, the family is there. If there's already a child in the family, it's usually an adopted child from Gladney. They're the first to see the new baby.
Oh, I love you too. I love you.
And at long last, the placement. Families created through adoption have a special bond. Parents who've waited years instead of months. People who've known the anguish of the thought of life without parenting. And on this Thanksgiving, a special bond of gratitude to all people who love a child enough to plan for the best. Jane Giroux, 5 Alive News.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Jane. It was nice. Next on Health Beat, news about some turkey stuff, or I guess you could say getting stuffed with turkey. We'll be right back. On the Health Beat today, before you reach for that second helping of stuffing this Thanksgiving, maybe you should think what it's doing to your waistline. Wanna? A traditional Thanksgiving dinner tastes good, but can add up to some hefty calories. If you had toast, eggs, and coffee this morning, that's around 450 calories. Appetizers add another $2,000. The turkey dinner totals around $3,500, and a late-night turkey sandwich, pie and coffee, some cookies, adds another $1,300. That's a whopping total of more than 7,500 calories, equal to about 2 pounds of fat. Didn't want to hear it, did you? Here's some turkey talk. You can stuff yourself with more food this Thanksgiving without it costing a penny more than last year. The American Farm Federation says that you can cook up a traditional dinner for yourself and friends for a total cost of $24.51. Now, last year, the same meal would have cost $29.75. Officials say a sharp dip in the price of turkey is a big factor for the cheaper feast. If problems with your turkey have put your dinner on hold, the Turkey Talk Line can help. Home economists are standing by to answer questions on the Butterball Turkey Talk Line. We're not kidding you, this is real. In the 7th year, it's free and includes everything from cooking to leftover tips. If you'd like to hear some free turkey tips, call 1-800-323-4848. That's 1-800-323-4848. How to cook your leftovers. All right. Is OU about to lose another assistant football coach? Maybe. Dick Pryor will have that story and a preview of one of the week's biggest high school football playoff games. Sports is coming up next. You know, the situation that Jim Donnan finds himself in is sort of difficult to handle, really. Nothing's happened up there at North Carolina. A lot of rumors.
No, a lot of rumors. He's preparing his football team for the Orange Bowl, yet he has to deflect all of these rumors and really doesn't want to say anything until it becomes official. So it is a touchy situation. Sources in North Carolina tell us that Tar Heel head football coach Dick Crum is expected to resign or be fired soon with 4 years remaining on his contract. OU offensive coordinator Jim Donnan is the leading candidate to replace Crum. Donnan has been at OU for 3 years. He was hired as offensive coordinator after Mack Brown left OU to become head football coach at Tulane. Donnan has no comment on the North Carolina situation. The Southwest Conference Championship and a berth in the Cotton Bowl opposite Notre Dame will be on the line tonight when 15th-rated Texas A&M entertains arch-rival Texas. The Aggies have won the Southwest Conference title the last 2 years. The National Football League's traditional Thanksgiving games were played today in Detroit and Dallas. At the Pontiac Silverdome, the Kansas City Chiefs snapped a 9-game losing streak by beating the Detroit Lions 27-20. Bill Kenny fired 2 TD passes. This one to Jonathan Hayes made it 7-0. Kenny hit Paul Kaufman on a 10-yarder in the second quarter. KC led 14-0 and held off the Lions 27-20. Both teams are now 2-9. And so 27-20 was the final score. The other game in the NFL is still being played at Irving. And look at this score. Minnesota and Dallas tied at 38 with less than 2 minutes to play. Several of the state's high school football teams had more on their minds than turkey today, like tomorrow's playoff games. The semifinals in 5A and 4A, the quarterfinals in 3A, 2A, and A will be played tomorrow night. One of the best matchups will involve District 5A2 rivals Putnam City West and Edmond. Mick Cornett has a preview.
This is a day to give thanks, and most people take the day off and take it easy. Well, 2 high school football teams are very thankful that they're still alive in the playoffs, but they didn't get the day off. Edmond and Putnam West are traditional powers, and this one is a toss-up. The coaches are well aware of each other's teams.
They have a good, balanced, solid football team. Their defense is good. It is excellent, and their offense is excellent. Both teams live with their offensive and defensive lines, and the team that wins that battle is probably going to win the game.
One of the interesting aspects of this game is that Rob Green, the Putnam West coach, used to coach at Edmond. And Edmond's coach, Rick Jones, used to coach at Putnam West.
I love Putnam West. I love the times that I spent over there, and I like the people over there very well. We're close friends. Still, when you engage in a contest with him, you want to beat him worse than anyone else. Oh, I think that feeling's mutual.
The winner will advance to the state finals. Mick Cornett, 5 Alive Sports.
That game will be played tomorrow night at 7:30 at Wantland Stadium. The Utah Jazz has traded Daryl Dawkins to the Detroit Pistons for 2 second-round draft picks and cash. Dawkins appeared in just 4 games with the Jazz since being acquired from New Jersey before the start of the season. There is just one NBA game tonight. New Jersey is at Sacramento. Tulane Sports Information Director Jeff Seal, a former assistant at OU, is in good condition tonight after being robbed and shot last night in uptown New Orleans. 3 teenage youths were arrested following a high-speed chase that ended when they crashed Seal's car. The gunshot to his lower back caused no paralysis, and Jeff Seal is expected to be released from the hospital in about a week.
Understand OU's information director, sports information director, Treps, is back home.
Back home again. He did his radio show the other night. Yes, he did. He's
Super.
a trooper, so he's back in business.
Well, he'll be at the Orange Bowl.
Yes, although he's still in some pain,
Yeah.
he will be able to go.
Oh, he's a lucky man. Well, we'll be right back. Earlier, Wayne was describing our future weather conditions as soggy. I hope he doesn't get real miserable around here.
Well, in parts of the state, it certainly will be miserable. As a matter of fact, once again, we would like to remind you there is a winter storm warning for the northwestern part of the state for tonight and tomorrow. Possibility up to 4 to 8 inches of snow in the Panhandle. For the rest of the state, mostly drizzle and rain tonight and tomorrow. But by this time tomorrow, parts of central Oklahoma will see rain becoming mixed with or changing over to snow. Dick?
Wayne, a Thanksgiving tradition in El Paso is the Sun Bowl Parade. Thousands of people turned out for the parade today. And, of course, that is the parade that talks about the Sun Bowl game and leading up to the Sun Bowl game between Oklahoma State and West Virginia. They'll play in El Paso on Christmas Day. Jerry?
All right, another look at our top stories. The Salvation Army dished up thousands of pounds of turkey and dressing at their annual Thanksgiving dinner today. But instead of waiting in line this year, volunteers waited tables to feed the hungry. And the Jesus House also gave meals to those in need. Hundreds were served today, and topping off food baskets and meals earlier in the week. Be with us again tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll take you to a holiday ceremony that's shedding some light on Christmas. We'll see Jerry there. We'll tell you, Harris. We'll tell you what's that all about, and we'll be here, right here, telling you everything that there is, Wayne, right here. Don't move. If you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, there is a play in town that is just dynamite with some great stars you'll recognize. Gene Stapleton, you've got James MacArthur, Larry Storch, and Marion Ross, just to name a few. I'll be starring with them tomorrow night.
You will be there.
Yeah, I'll be there in a
right?
performance tomorrow night from
I'm
8 o'clock. Yeah. And so if you're looking for something fun to do, go by and get you a ticket to Arsenic and Old Lace, and we'll see you again here at 10 o'clock. Be there.
There's no place like home, no place like Oklahoma. There's magic every corner that you turn. You see it in the fields, on the lakes and in the cities. It's in the children's faces as they learn. Look around, you'll find neighbors standing by your side. And the feeling that we share is Oklahoma pride. We are Oklahoma, getting stronger every day. We are Oklahoma, working hard